Hi, beautiful humans. My face and my book. Can we see it? There we go. I wanted to introduce you all to the ebook that I've created over the past few months. It's a little book of tarot spreads. So if you are a tarot reader, the reading that we're doing the pick a card reading on today, this video, is a spread from the book that I created. This one. Why is this so hard? What cycle? It's a very useful way of looking at time more in a cycle rather than a line, so that you can tell what cycle you're living in and going through right now. Also, what would adjust it, what kind of energy to embody or take on, and actions to take. That's what we're doing the pick a card reading on today. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a reading for you, but also take you through the motions of everything that I've outlined in my ebook for how to go ahead and do this spread. If you're interested in this ebook, there are over 100 more spreads like this one in it. If you're into doing tarot, go ahead, check it out. The link in the description of this video will take you there. I was very happy when I channeled and created this book, so hopefully it's a very useful and helpful resource for you all. But let's go ahead. I'm going to show you the 3 decks that I'm going to be using so you guys can tune in and feel your way. Again, this is a pick a card based on this spread that you guys can go ahead and do at home. If you don't want the whole ebook, you can just copy this spread and use it. But again, it's a useful way of looking at time if you're into more of that kind of feminine kind of a way of cycles and or nature or natural, just in addition to linear time. Let's go ahead and tune in. What cycle are you personally in right now? I'm gonna show you the decks. Thank you for sitting through my intro, beautiful humans. I'm not very good at selling something. I'm much better at giving. So let's get to your pick a card so I can give you this reading. I can give you this spread, okay? Group 1, we're gonna be using the unicorn, what is it called? Crystal Unicorn Tarot deck. Group 2, we're gonna be using Tarot of the Cloisters. And every time I say that, I want to say it with a funny voice like Tarot of the Cloisters and be very serious. But and group 3, we're going to be using Kawaii Tarot. So again, we're covering what cycle are you moving through, and we're using the spread from my ebook. One more time, if you want to check out the ebook, head to the link in the description. Otherwise, you know, just follow along and you can copy it, or you can take a screenshot when I held it up to the screen and you can use it on your own if you want to. But yeah, we're looking at the cycle that you're in. We're looking at what would move that or change it, steps that you can take. And we're looking at the potentially new cycle that you would be entering into as a result of those efforts and that concentration and consciousness, okay? Group 1, group 2, group 3, feel your way into which deck. Once you know, once you can sense and you can feel, head to the timestamp. It'll fast forward you to your messages and taking a look at the spread. And I will see you there. Hi, beautiful humans. Group 1, you all were drawn to, I keep forgetting this, it's Crystal Unicorn Tarot. I can never remember whether the unicorn is first or the crystal, but regardless, it's both of those fun things. Here we are with your messages about what cycle you are currently going through. So we're gonna start with 5 cards, a la my spread from my book, and we're gonna see what is your current cycle, and then we'll get more into what can shift that cycle. Kind of think of in terms of time as a circle, and then to shift it, we're gonna turn it into a spiral, whether outward or inward, upward or downward, wherever you need to take it for right now. But okay. Ooh, I just bent a card. This one has to go here because I like forcefully bent it, but okay. We have the 9 of Cups as well as the King of Cups. And then we have the Chariot as well as the Emperor. And then we have the Death card. Okay, where you guys are at, I want to say is pretty powerful for our modern era. I'm just listening to your guides because I'm like, in my opinion, as like a human person, like looking at this, the cycle that you're in is obviously like kind of making changes according to some priority of, does this build me up? Does this fulfill me? Does this make me happy? Is it striving toward my goals, or is it holding me back? It's very, very self-fulfilling, self-motivating in a very positive kind of loving way. And with this Emperor card here, it's making a whole entire spectrum of a new order in your world and in your life. This is the frequency that you're holding right now. This is the territory in time that you are occupying. So I almost want to say, stay here as long as you need to, because it's so powerful. You're making moves with the Chariot card that are based on the Nine of Cups, joy. Genuinely the sensation of your wish fulfillment, your joy, where do you feel it? And then the King of Cups is holding that kind of solid emotional maturity to be able to house the entire spectrum of emotions so that you can constantly navigate toward that place and that space. And then the King of Cups might be also this energy of when you do feel your joy, you move into that territory of King of Cups where you acknowledge, is this something that is good or beneficial for the world around me and the people who I love? It feels like the king, you move directly into that territory of co-creative, counterbalancing, of like my wins and my joys and my wishes have an impact on other people. Let me check in on that. And then the Chariot is that full force of like emotional navigation, because Chariot card is Cancer sign, and I always associate it with like, if you know where your heart is and you know what direction that's pointing in, you got a lot going for you. But the Chariot card also feels like decision making and like functional movements, like you're in alignment. You're doing a lot to make sure that you're making your choices, you're identifying these things, you're moving toward your goals, you know, Chariot card, and you're also doing a lot of functional movement. And then that sets you up right into like, this is where we are all held. This is sanctuary, this is safety. In a lot of ways, the cycle that you're in is very much solidifying certain territories of your life moving forward for you to be able to take on more in the future. Like you're in a cycle that's really good for setting up shop for something that would be your business into the future, moving into the future. Like you're going to set up something that's going to last for a lot of years. I'm getting all these visuals of like the first year of a business, you know? Doing what you have to do in order to set that up because you know you're in it for the long haul. Or like setting up a vineyard. For some reason, that's an example that's coming to me because I heard once something like a statistic of like, I said that so fast. Something like a statistic of like it takes 5 years or however many years for a vine to produce grapes that are of the caliber and quality that can create wine. So it's like you're in it for the long haul. And then the Death card is like you're doing the editing. You're doing the useful, okay, this needs to transform. Okay, I need to let that go. I need to embody this. And this is the cycle. This is the circle. You're leaning into the whole process because the Death card leads straight back into the Nine of Cups. You're re-identifying with your joy. The Death card might be you letting go of certain habits, certain priorities, needing to transition or transform or pivot in some kinds of ways. But honestly, your whole entire cycle feels really, really powerful, really, really positive. The next two cards are basically what's going to shift the cycle, what's going to expand it, or what's going to contract it. And in a lot of ways, these cards might be showing us what is going to be coming from outside of you, as well as energies that are coursing their way through you. Like there's a huge empowerment vibe. There's a huge selfhood vibe in your cycle right now. So we've got this card that I bent, and let's get another one. What's going to shift this circle into the territory of a spiral, whether outward or inward? And then we'll look a little bit, you know, further at why this is occurring. We have the Two of Pentacles and we have the Nine of Swords. Right. So basically I feel like I feel like to summarize it, I feel like you're in the territory of simplifying and identifying, like honing in on things that are very important. So like, you know, clearing away space so that you can do this kind of priority and stuff like that. The Two of Pentacles, what will shift your cycle? It feels like something is going to come through you that might be a side project, or that might be something that you're feeling really strongly motivated to encourage yourself to do and move forward with, that is in addition to all of your current kind of stuff that you got going on. And the Nine of Swords, it feels like maybe stress, but it's more the evaluation of what you will need to go through in order to add on another thing, another person. Honestly, a partner in business, a child, adding on like a second house or an investment, like expanding your investment portfolio in whatever direction. It's another priority. A relationship, like if you're doing relationship really well, this is like, okay, I want to expand my career. This is another priority that you're going to add in that's going to matter to you a whole lot. And so then I really feel like it's expansion energy, like a spiraling outward, because I feel like you're setting things up right now so well for you. And then the Nine of Swords, I don't feel as if it's any that kind of like you're going to be super stressed about it. I feel like it's just caretaking, adding on another priority, and doing your due diligence to create those kinds of lists of preparedness for like, okay, I need to think of this, this, and this, and this. And I need to train in this. I need to get ready for this. I need to paint the baby nursery. I need to spruce up my dating profile. Whatever that is, it feels like you're going to expand into territory that is right for you because you're in this cycle of making it, getting it ready. Yeah, okay. These next 3 cards that I'm getting for this spread for you all, they're showing us steps for you to take along this journey and along this path. And funny enough, with these 2 cards, I'm going to turn this over because I can't handle it right now because I'm in this thought right here. These 2 cards is what will shift your cycle. And I feel like it's something that's going to be coming through you, kind of inspiration, something that's going to happen. So, like you stumble across someone who you want to do a relationship with or join together with in some kinds of ways. Interesting. I just looked at the bottom of the deck. I it's like too much. This is funny. I think I'm in your energy right now and I can only handle so many details. Where normally I can handle it all and just try to make one sentence about it at a time. But basically, I feel as if to shift the cycle, these are things that are going to be happening that you wouldn't directly choose, or you're not kind of thinking that you're going to have to manage right now. I feel like these are additions that are going to come into your life in the form of invitations, ideas, surprise pregnancy, things such as that will shift this cycle. So let's look at steps to take in order to do this kind of shifting well and to expand. I truly feel like you're going into expansion mode. But we have the 5 of Pentacles as well as the Page of Pentacles. And I already saw that this one is the 8 of Pentacles. So a lot of material world preparedness. The first thing to do to sort of, I feel like I'm telling you what's going to happen. Like you're getting a prediction as well as some guidance for this. But the 5 of Pentacles is a dress right now, a dress where you know that you would need some kind of support. Yep. A dress where you know that, you're running low on something. Like I'm thinking of one example, like how are you doing? You guys might be very busy right now. How are you doing with eating well? And prioritizing how much food you get in any day. Like, it really feels like this 5 of Pentacles is having you write that down, as in, I don't think that, like, how busy I am, I've lost, the ability to prioritize healthy food or to cook well for myself because it takes too much time, So the 5 of Pentacles is you need help with cooking for yourself, that kind of a thing. In a lot of ways, it might mean like physical space, like I don't know, your living situation or your physical space where if you're working out of the home, do you realize that you don't have enough space in the home and you actually might need to invest in some kind of business, like, co-working space or something like that where you can have your separate office? Anything like that is useful to do right now. And that's moving right into the Page of Pentacles, which is potentially taking some kind of actions toward experimenting with satisfying those needs in your material world and in your physical. The Page of Pentacles is a very invigorating, I'm going to test this out and I'm going to try and see. So I want to say experimentation is a good thing. It's kind of like, I was just thinking of this example, but then it blipped into my head and I forgot it immediately. I'm hoping that it comes in right now. like fully. I was just thinking of this example like an hour ago. Something like, oh my God, there you go. Is that it? No, it's leaving again. This is the weirdest thing. Okay. Basically, it's like, pick something that's low risk, you know? Like, do a little experimentation. Like, if you know you're gonna want to move into your separate office space, maybe a co-working space that's low rent, see if you can do it for like 1 month. See if it works before you go ahead and fully book out an entire office space for yourself and or your company or your work or something that you're doing. I was also thinking of like, if you guys are auditioning, the Page of Pentacles is the energy of like, go out for those parts that aren't like, that is the perfect role for me, or something like that. Go out for those things that like may or may not be very high on your priority list, or like high on your self-identity kind of list, kind of a thing, and do your best, you know, just to see how you feel with the audition process, you know, if that makes sense. Page of Pentacles is also like, for 1 month, you know, take part in a food delivery service. It's probably discounted for 1 month, you know, things such as that. And then the Eight of Pentacles is like, get to work once you do find your vibe and once you do find your frequency. I do love the Eight of Pentacles. To me, is always talking about being in a flow state, like a kind of state where you lose track of time. It feels so good. You know, whatever style of work that you are doing in that moment is something that's so right for you, for where you're headed, for what you like to do. It's the right climate, you know, that kind of work. It just, you really like doing it. Sometimes for me, this is like some of the most tedious work. Like literally, I know I'm mentioning the book, but this is a video themed on a spread that I created for the book. Like actually placing in the book, like when I did the graphics work and I placed every little graphic that symbolized a card, when I placed the words, when I chose the font. Sometimes that's my Eight of Pentacles, when it feels so flippin' good. But okay, let's get 5 more cards because I'm very curious about this next cycle that you're headed into. Yes. So with all of this guidance, with all of this clairvoyance, yes, and a bit of certainty of like, look, one other thing is going to be added, you know, at least, and you're going to, you know, want it, you're going to like it, you're going to prioritize it. Let's see, what is this next cycle that you'll be heading into? We have the 10 of Swords, as well as the 4 of Wands, the High Priestess, and then we have the 3 of Cups and the 10 of Wands. This is interesting. This is definitely a cycle of caring for the very foundations of who you are and where you're headed with this extra thing. What it feels like, the 4 of Wands for me is that kind of celebratory card of when you've got something going very well in your life. For business, this is a successful launch. This is an excellent platform on social media that people love to, you know, make use of and visit and vibe with. The High Priestess is the whole entire cycle is like very intuitive, very intuitively and emotively. Embrace the nuance when it comes to the 3 of Cups of who you are, where you're at, and what you're gonna need, and totally lean into this kind of pressure mode of, with the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Swords, I'm not gonna be able to allow myself to do more than I can handle. For some reason, I feel like this next cycle is hallmarked by you taking on more and it going well, while also you paying attention to very devotedly when and where you can receive some kind of access to assistance so that you are not burning out and you are not crucifying yourself. I'm hearing, like with the 10 of Swords also, you're not brutalizing yourselves or your energy with the expectation of you can do it all and you're gonna succeed. There's something that's very self-defeating, self-decimating. What is that? Self-destruction. Yeah, I keep doing this. I keep like stabbing toward my own body. It's like self-destruction. The High Priestess is right here to be like, in this next cycle that we're tuning into, you're going to be highly tuned in and highly aware, holding space for it and claiming the territory of, with the Three of Cups, when and where you are going to request and reach out for assistance. Again, these steps to take for this next cycle are getting you very well prepared for being able to address that in your physical reality. What I feel like with all of this mental and emotional kind of passion-driven kind of energy in your next cycle, is that your physical reality, the reason why you got Pentacles, 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 is that like the most you can do with your physical reality to set yourself up to support this energy coming to you, like, is the better. The more you can do in your physical territory, like we were detailing, the better, because you're entering into something that will be very mental, very nuanced and emotional and intuitive, and extremely exciting, highly invigorating. I, again, am feeling this expansive territory. In a lot of ways, this is the energy of your business going very, very well. This is the energy of you needing to reach out for that kind of support for like an editor, the kind of support from friends to do like the food train when the baby arrives, the kind of support of, I don't know, anything and everyone in terms of contractors, if you're expanding your living space. But it is also adding people on for, you know, payroll or your business, something like that. I keep using it, like I keep associating you all group one with people who have their own business or their own side hustle or something, like self-employment, something like that, simply because of your previous cycle that you're in. It's very self-motivated, very self-charged. But yeah, you are striving toward your goals. Something is incredibly successful. Plus there's the addition of whatever this extra is to make your life even more fulfilled, even more vibrant. In a lot of ways, this next cycle, the last thing I'll say before I show you your last reflection card and send you on your way, your next cycle, that expansive that you're moving into with this 10 of Wands, 10 of Swords, and the 3 of Cups and the High Priestess, if you're moving in together with a person who you're in love with, something like that, this is you addressing the responsibilities of the living situation and of the housing space and being able to acclimate to mutually shared responsibilities, you know, in the home space, or like identifying, you know, your emotional needs and being able to request and ask for them. And likewise for your partner, things like that. But okay, your last card, it says, am I letting matters that are out of my control stress me out? Isn't that kind of perfect? Because remember how 9 of Swords is the stress card. Remember how I wanted to say that, but it didn't resonate. It didn't energetically feel like the accurate thing to say about this energy. It just genuinely feels as if you're already in this mode right now where you're just super command of self. You know, it feels very powerful. So it's like with this new thing added on, don't let it stress you out. Take these step-by-step procedures to get prepared bit by bit, and then take it on in terms of this next cycle of making sure that you can handle more, you can handle more, you can handle more. You're turning your selfhood almost into a tribe. So then anything that's stressing you, there's a huge, you know, energy of like, talk about it, share about it, ask for help, receive help, build, you know, make things automated, all those kinds of processes in the physical, and get going. Okay, I'm finished. We're finished. Again, I'm just going to show you the cards one more time. If you guys wanted to do this spread for yourselves, here you go. But okay, the ebook, the link is in the description of this video. If you're interested in it, I just want to check. 10 of Cups is on the bottom of the deck after all the cards are out, you guys. This is ridiculous. Okay. Sending you on your way. Please remember, we are all free and we are also all connected always at the exact same time. We love you. Beautiful humans in group 2, you guys were drawn to this deck, which is Tarot of the Cloisters. So these are your messages about what cycle you are going through. And again, it's based on this spread that I created. We're going to start with 5 cards to look at, you know, the details of the cycle that you're in, the circle that you're in right now. Then we're going to get some cards to look at what's going to shift this cycle, what you can do if you personally want to take some actions to shift the cycle. And then we'll check out basically the next cycle that you would be moving into. So, okay. I'm filming this while the sunlight is coming out like this because I thought it was pretty cool because this is like a stained glass thing. Okay. Anyway, card number 1, we have Judgment. And let's see a bit more. Wow. And then we also have the Star, Page of Swords, Knight of Wands or Knight of Staves, and I just heard some words. It was like going through the narrative of who you are and kind of deciding on like who you are becoming or who you will be. Yeah, we have Knight of Cups as well, or Knight of Vessels. It feels as if the current cycle that you're in is self-discovery and self-acknowledgement, and then going ahead and needing to do some things about it. But it feels kind of calm. It's interesting. The Knight of Wands in this deck, the Knight of Staves, it's very interesting to me because it's such a powerful energy. It's forward momentum of passion. It's usually like the hero kind of vibe, and let's do something about this. But it is really interesting that in this deck, the Knight is off the horse, and the horse looks like it's kind of sad or eating. I know it's upside down right now, and I'm doing that on purpose because we got the cycle. Yeah, there's something about how you're in a cycle where you're trying very much to be heart-led and not rush into things. Right now, you're looking for more information. It is interesting that this Page of Swords, it's like a barren landscape. I think you're trying to find out more in territories that were underserved in your life, about yourself. In a lot of ways, this cycle that you're in, it's you trying to take some kinds of actions or moving into territories where you're in alignment with some kind of social cause or social justice issue. There are too many to list. Too many are springing to my mind, but it might be something that you're personally experiencing, and that's what's introducing you to this whole realm of a society or a group of people who are experiencing similar, maybe taking up some kinds of causes. And again, this also feels like I need to figure myself out more. I need to understand where I'm personally headed. I feel like you guys are in some kind of a cycle of facing the music, facing reality, Judgment energy, and then the Star card going through the motions of, you know, holding that or being able to figure some stuff out like calmly and casually without disrupting everything. It just feels like you're a person right now in your cycle who kind of goes down certain rabbit holes to discover some things and then takes the break, takes the breather, takes the pause so that you can let them settle and you can let things like acclimate. In a lot of ways, this is a cycle for you all exploring kind of the territory of what to do next. I know I already spoke of that, but I'm thinking in your career. So this is figuring out more of selfhood. And then I'm also feeling like it just feels, I don't know, it feels very large and very big and very epic. Like almost like for quite a few of you, you all are in this cycle because of the cycle of humanity right now. And you guys are vibing with that kind of tone of like, I like looking at the world or at where your culture or at society and just wondering, how is this going to work itself out? Like, what do I have to stand on? Like, is this social system still gonna be there? And this cycle is you trying to figure out, okay, what do I believe in? What can I stand on? And, you know, if I can't rely on, you know, XYZ, what matters to me that I can move forward with and maybe do something about myself? It also feels like just kind of coming to terms with a whole lot, just in general, especially relationships, and vibing more with truth and reality, even if those truths and realities don't necessarily fit the justice of your heart space. That was pretty well said. I channeled those words. And I have my hand on my heart right now, and I'm kind of like rubbing it, like soothing it and calming it or coaxing it. Like, it's okay. We can face the truth. We can face the writing on the wall. You know, truth is the greatest gift, even though sometimes it hurts or it pisses us off. It just feels like you're doing a whole lot, honestly, in this cycle. it just doesn't feel like you have a whole lot of decisions made necessarily. You're just kind of going through the motions of acclimating to maybe a spiritual awakening, consciousness rising, exploring more of your reality and your selfhood, maybe doing some archetyping, like researching more about your astrological star chart or things such as that. But okay, I just got 2 cards and they're going to show what will shift your cycle. Basically, take your time. We just looked at time for you all, group 2, in a circle. Now we're going to see what's going to make that circle into a spiral, whether an expansive one or one that's going more inward, whatever you need. And this can be actions or an energy that you can embody, as well as things that might occur outside of you. We have the 6 of Swords, and then we also have the 9 of Swords. Okay, look at these 2 people. Though it's usually a woman, but I'm just going to say the person in the boat and this person in the bed. They both have their hand on their face. I feel like entering into the territory of decisions needing to be made is the energy that will shift this cycle through you. Honestly, I feel like this is something of you emboldening yourselves, group 2, to embody this kind of, I just heard the words direct narrative. I don't know, maybe that sounds, I don't know. Can we get different words, please? There's just something about you moving into the territory where you can understand what you can take action on and what will be useful for you. That's the energy to embody. It's like, yes, the 9 of Swords just feels like it's okay that you don't have everything figured out, or I'm hearing the words, you won't have anything figured out. And then the 6 of Swords is still, let's try some things, because the act of moving on into something, anything, trying anything, will be better than staying put in this kind of exploration kind of cycle that you're doing right now, because it's not taking any assertive action. Basically, the energy to embody it with the 6 of Swords and how soothing that mental energy can be, is basically like, it's okay if you don't know whether or not it's going to be a success. It's okay if you don't know whether or not it's going to be a failure. You don't know if you're going to get support along the way, or it's going to blow up in your face. It's very much fuck around and find out, but like in a nice mental, gentle way. Gentle mental. I like that. Very much is sort of like adopt that kind of mental territory of like soothed allowance to just try some things, and you have to do something is the vibe. You're going to need to eventually, I feel like, is also what's coming through. I'm getting 3 cards right now, and since we're talking about doing something, these are the next things in the spread. Since we're talking about doing something, I think this applies, because these next 3 cards are supposed to be steps that you can take. This is energy to embody. This is like kind of channeled focus, and it's sort of like allow your mind that territory of childlike, I'm gonna need to learn. I'm gonna need to process this. I'm gonna need to experiment and then see. Like, you won't have all the answers before you leap, no matter how much tarot you do. You're heading into new heading into new territory. Bottom of the deck is the Moon card. You're trying to see. You're trying to figure it out. You're trying to know before you take action. You're trying to be wise. You're trying to make sure that nothing blows up in your face, or you do know where, wow, 5 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. You do know where, yeah, the Fool. Oh my God. Wow. I am seeing a lot. The further I dig into the bottom of the deck, I'm seeing where you devotionally maybe worked on a relationship, any kind of relationship situation, and it genuinely didn't work out. And then with the Fool card, you took a chance, even though you were being cautious, and it genuinely didn't work out. So you're sitting here in this territory of like, I have this information, I'm trying to figure everything out before I take action. And then the energy is, it's gotta be all right. It literally has to be all right in the world around you for you to not have all the answers, because that's impossible. Okay, what to do, action, steps to take to shift this. And I feel like we're going into some kind of spiraling outward. I feel like this is expansion. I feel like you're taking your circle and you're broadening your horizon. So you're turning it into an outward spiral rather than an inward one. We have the 9 of Wands, and then we also have the 2 of Pentacles, and then we have the 4 of Swords. Wow, this just feels like do what you can with where you're at right now. And with the 2 of Pentacles, definitely take part in partnerships, in arrangements to where you are cooperative and collaborative with whatever energy, no matter what it is either with you or against you, on your side or as an opponent. The 4 of Swords is this territory of like, at this point, it doesn't matter. It's almost like at this point, it can't matter. You know, it's just kind of like, yeah, it's weird. It's just like you're in this space where you're like, I have to know if it's going to be a success. I can't afford another failure. And everything in your cards is like, that's not life. Oh, I hate that. I obviously do a lot of tarot for pretty much similar reasons as maybe why you're tuning into this tarot reading. But yeah, the 9 of Wands is like with whatever you have in extra, like in surplus, you know? If you have like a little bit of money left over at the end of every month, what can you do with that money to invest in one of these kinds of choices, one of these kinds of options? You know, time as well, love, the energy for socializing, communication, anything like that. And then the 2 of Pentacles is like shift into this reality of no matter what, you're going to be doing this with other people. So the 4 of Swords also for the next step is be ready for conflict and don't be conflict avoidant. Don't be that kind of risk averse where you kind of back down. I don't know. I feel like you might be facing some kinds of challenges like I dug into the bottom of the deck where like, you know, they're going to ring quite similar to the things that you've experienced before. So this 4 of Swords is just like to the best of your ability, do those meditative things, do those kinds of nurturing, caring, self-loving kinds of things. Again, I just feel like you're meant to reach out and you're meant to talk and include more. It's meant to be much more of a social rather than an individual, hyper-vigilant individual kind of a time for you of what you're expanding into. And then it's like, you know, get ready to face the kind of similar climates as what you might have faced in the past on your journey forward. But okay, there's like a little bit more about this, but I feel like I'm gonna go to your cards right now. I'm getting 5 more cards because we're gonna tune into, okay, well, considering all of this, what's this next cycle gonna look like once you expand, once you transition? Right away, we got the social, okay? We have the 3 of Cups or the 3 of Vessels, and then we have the social as well in the material world. Where's the Sun? Stained glass with the Queen of Pentacles. That's social in the sense of like to me, she's kind of this ultimate hosting energy. Like in the physical, in the material world, she's capable of setting up something. And I love the background. It's so like winter tundra. And yet she sits here with all of this prosperity and abundance, like ready for, those are more than enough grapes that she could ever eat, you know? Like she's ready for people. So already we're starting out with this like primary focus on like including more people, hosting more, being able to do that. But this 4 of Swords, it just feels really important to enter into that mental territory of there will be conflict. That's a natural, you know, thing of life. I will probably be triggered. I'm not going to back down. I'm also not going to, you know, play around with like the fights. It's like a very, I'm not doing war energy. I am here though. Like, don't take me down. I don't want to be taken down. I'm not going to take you down. I want to cooperate, you know? Game theory. Watch a video on game theory. Okay. Then we have the Page of Staves or the Page of Wands, and I'm going to get your last 2 of the tarot cards and we'll see. Oh, that's so nice. I just looked at the bottom of the deck. I'll show you guys in a second. And then we have the 7 of Pentacles, and the last is the Hermit. That's so nice. The next cycle that you'll be entering into is one that you can work well with from a territory and from I'm hearing a spotlight, but from a foundation that works well for you. You're working well with others in these cards. I'm getting the vibe of you might be entering into something that's similar to a 9 to 5 with the 7 of Pentacles, or entering into something that's like that financially to where you can count on it. You can count on your growth. You can count on the harvest for the effort that you put in. And I really like that the Page of Wands shows up here. That's interesting, because right underneath that was the Page of Swords. You were finding out a lot of information. You were learning, you were open, you were sharing, you were talking, exploring, things like that. The Page of Wands. Remember how I said that Knight of Wands, he was off his horse. He wasn't really doing anything. The Page of Wands is kind of a really exceptional energy of, I'm gonna try something. It is the energy of like F around and find out. It's like, it's time for an adventure. Basically, I feel like the next cycle that you're entering into are little adventures from a responsible place, including more people, you having a lot more social value to yourself, like a lot more integrated into your local community, your family, society as a whole, maybe as a result of this job that you're about to enter into, or the work on yourself and how you're about to start doing it, or what you're going to become involved in. There's something about slow and steady progress, responsibility. You can count on this. And it feels like with the Hermit card here, part of your cycle is checking in with yourself abundantly again and again. This feels like the kind of territory of very abundantly balancing all this kind of stuff that you are in this cycle right now, that you've just come through, like all this kind of new information, all this kind of stuff that you've been exploring and wondering about. This next cycle that you're leaning into is being able to expose that, express that, work on it collaboratively and connectedly with others. And then the Hermit is just like, you'll also have that time to stabilize and touch base with selfhood. It's like not this whole like you're either an extrovert or an introvert. The cycle that you're entering into is some kind of territory where you get to do both, and you get to have your cycles and you get to flow with it. Bottom of the deck is the Two of Vessels, or the Two of Cups. And for quite a few of you, we are talking about the territory of a very positive and healthy relationship, like romantically, that you're moving into, and or this new cycle that you're moving into, especially with all that stuff that I said about the Four of Swords, is like the healthy vibrancy of a romantic relationship that's flowing well and moving into the territory of like being very healthy. Like healthy relationship science, I'm hearing those words. I'm hearing the words signs for the future, ahead, and everything that's possible as long as we are aware of it together. I just channeled those words. I kind of want to put them aside because I was like, whoa, that's a lot of words. Basically, the next cycle that you're entering into feels very like healed, whole, healthy, prosperous, abundant, and yet calm, and yet kind of doing what you can, when you can, while you can, step by step. Like I was saying with the Page of Wands, it's like take mini adventures, maybe one big trip. If like travel is something that is included in your whole vision of all this kind of stuff that you're exploring right now, it's like maybe take one big trip, but there's this energy of like, it's all gonna be okay. Like maybe you can figure out like how to be hosted by other people on that trip, and then it becomes such a more social thing. Honestly, this cycle does make me feel like for quite a few of you, you're entering into a cycle where travel and work are combined in a really healthy and vibrant kind of a way. But again, that Page of Wands is that energy of like, I'm gonna express a little bit more. I'm gonna be a little bit more eccentric. I'm gonna do a little bit of art over here, and I don't know how it's gonna work out, but I'm gonna show some people at an art show, you know? It's something like that. It's taking those little steps while also the Seven of Pentacles have everything being responsibly built, step by step by step, okay? Your last card, group 2, am I continually learning and developing new skills? I'm just gonna put that right there because I feel like that's the territory that you're in right now. This is just an up-leveling or an expansion. It feels so gentle, honestly. Your reading has felt very gentle the entire time. It's basically, this is one extra next step of the new skill of being a little bit bold, a little bit more courageous, a little bit more social, a little bit more incremental maybe. It's like safe wildness. It's like the territory of, nurtured or held well or capable, protected kind of energy to be a little bit, like I was saying, eccentric or a little bit adventurous, a little bit reckless, you gotta try something. And that's the new skill that it feels like you're gonna be learning and developing in this kind of gentle, expansive territory. But okay, I'm done. How do you guys feel? I did show you the bottom of the deck. 2 of Cups. I just want to say also 2 of Cups or 2 of Vessels is my Destiny card, and there's a little bit of that inside of your energy right now, as in like you're just kind of following a path or following a current of like, I'm going to let my heart decide, or maybe this is what my soul signed up for, or like, my life is in God's hands kind of vibe. Just going to say that here, but okay. I'm finished. If you like this reading, you know to do the YouTube things of like and subscribe and comment and let us know. Also, if you want the book, head to the link in the description of this video. If you want to hang out with some other tarot readers at the end of the month on the last Saturday of any given month, I meet together with other tarot readers over Zoom and we read for each other. If that sounds like your jam, head to the link and sign up for the next one. Sending you on your way. Please remember we are all free and we are also all connected always at the exact same time. I love you. Hey, beautiful humans. In group 3, you all were drawn to the Kawaii tarot deck. So these are your messages following my spread that I created, all about what cycle you're moving through right now, as well as we're going to look at things that will shift the cycle, things to do for that, and then we'll take a look at what cycle you will be entering into as a result of those kinds of shifting energies, whether they're coming through you, from you, you want to change this cycle, or it's things that will be happening outside of you. But okay, we're looking at the cycle you're currently in. Your first card is King of Wands, and then we have the 3 of Wands. And I was hearing the words forceful direction. We also have Page of Swords. And then 2 more cards, King of Swords. You guys are the only group where the words are coming out immediately. Forceful direction because you've figured it out. Like you found out what you've needed to. What's the last one? And then 4 of Wands. This is interesting. You're in a cycle right now where your decisions, I really feel like, are your own. I'm hearing the word sovereign. I'm hearing free will. Because you are open to being wrong, you're open to exploring alternatives. It just feels like with 2 kings here, the swords and the wands, you are explicitly, very dynamically decisive. We have all swords and all wands. It's a very masculine cycle. Like, have you been very productive, hyper productive? Have you been very motivated to get things done or follow through with certain things and accomplish what you needed to? The Ace of Wands at this point is on the bottom of the deck, so I feel like you guys have been very motivated by some kind of endeavor, some kind of attraction to a particular person or a cause, or some kind of creative ideal or idea or territory that you are willingly moving into because you so freely identify with it. The cycle that you're in right now is kind of continuing the journey to have everything be rightfully set up. That's what it feels like. It feels like a master of business, the territory of mastering your world and your life and taking some drive, taking some initiative. It does feel like leadership. It feels like just causes as well are all a part of this territory, all part of this cycle. I do see you all in this cycle opening up communicatively with quite a few people, whoever needs to be involved. In a lot of ways, I feel like this is sharing of information, energy, and ideas. For a lot of you, this means having conversations with AI, definitely, or exploring the territory of how can I implement that usefully in my life, in my business, in my work, with my collaborators, even in your social realm, in your social field. using AI as a therapist. I asked that of AI. I'm like, what do most people use you for? And then it lists like a lot of people. It's basically therapy. Yeah, there's just this energy of maybe being in a hyper aware kind of more masculine mode, except for when it comes to maybe like course correcting because of an error or a mistake. For some reason, it feels like you're very vigilant toward incorporating where things might not be headed in the correct direction. So you're willing to, edit. You're willing to sort of, uphold and justify your personal actions and your decisions. It just feels like with this Page of Swords leaning into the King of Swords, like the whole cycle, it feels like when you do find out through any resource at all that you might not be doing things correctly, or there's a mistake or an error, or you're the asshole or something like that, you're very willing to kind of, I just heard, wow, I'm hearing really strange kind of ringing in my right ear. You're really willing to take ownership of that, like in a really vibrantly kind of healthy kind of a way of like, let me right the wrongs then, not like shirking on responsibility. It's like responsible ownership of selfhood in this cycle. It feels very vibrant. You have a vision, you're moving toward it, you're editing, course correcting, listening, sharing, very open. You're making assertive choices and directions based on these kinds of like, as aware as you can be in the moment in time, choose, it's very assertive. And then the Four of Wands is you're like setting things up very well as a result of this cycle. Okay, I'm gonna get 2 cards. I'm also feeling like travel, maybe, I don't know. That's maybe for a few of you, that's a part of this cycle, is like continuation of travel for business maybe. But okay, I'm gonna get 2 cards because I wanna see what's shifting this cycle, whether it is through your own, voice where you wanna challenge things and you want to expand, or this is enough for you for right now. It's like a lot of masculine. It's a lot of fire and a lot of air kind of vibe. It's a lot of, go, go, go. And maybe your feminine is like a little bit, that side of you is a little bit challenged by all this. But I just got 2 cards, and these are the energies that are sort of going to expand this circle of a cycle into a spiral. Either inward, to go inward to replenish the feminine, or outward to expand even more. If you can keep up the pace. Shit. Okay, the 2 cards, we have the Hierophant, and then we also have the 5 of Wands. I'm hearing something about challenging a law that's going to be passed in your world. Wow. Okay. That feels like hyper specific, but I want to say it's challenging a law that is about to be passed in your world, meaning like your personal life. If there's some kind of code of conduct like at your school and that doesn't vibe with you. Right now I'm thinking of the movie, well, it's more than a movie, it's like a social actual movement of like the movie on Netflix, Moxie, and the movement of girls challenging the territory of dress codes. Because, it's not about what we, like, how covered up our bodies are. It's about, patrol the behavior of the boys in school, or blah, blah, blah. Something like that. There's something about some code of conduct in your world or in your life that's going to shift this. I feel like this is something that's happening inside of you. In a lot of ways, your current cycle really feels like it's bringing you to that point of being heard in a court of law, having a loud enough and a strong enough and a devoted to, commitment and intelligence and presenting well, kind of a forward face, to where in a court of law or like with a group of activists or something like that, you will be heard. You're well learned, you're well researched, you're striving for something. Okay, so basically, I feel like this is kind of like going to expand you. I don't know, we'll see a little bit more because I'm about to get 3 cards to show us, well, I'm doing it right now, to show us what you can do, like steps to take for this expansion and to reach into a new cycle. But basically, I feel like your current cycle is kind of preparing you to challenge like the current order of your life in one particular territory of it where it's really infringing on your thriving, your keys to happiness, you know, your livelihood. There's something about how you want to challenge this order in some kind of way. Maybe you've been preparing for it, but also I feel like with the cycle that you're in right now, you might be bumping up against something where you're going to have to challenge, like, I don't know if I mentioned the word tariff. That's very, very political touch point right now. But I don't know, you're bumping up against something that's like, I didn't even know that law existed. Like, what? Or like taxes. If you've been building a business and then you're like, fuck, sales tax? Like, how do I apply that? And you're just gonna have to like learn about something or challenge it or figure it out. But okay, let's take a look at these cards. What to do. We have the 9 of Swords, which really feels like it's getting into the territory of full readiness mentally. 9 of Swords is like acknowledge any and everything. It's kind of like I'm feeling this kind of very strong like energy, activism kind of energy of where like there's a part of you that's worried about something. The bigger part of you right now that I feel like you all are operating from is like, tell me what that worry is. I am capable of doing something about it. It's like this gorgeous energy of like, if you have any worry, I am at the ready to go ahead. I'm very qualified to go ahead and take that on and to fix it, to solve it, to innovate, to renovate, to make something new, whatever it takes. This 9 of Swords, it feels like head into that territory for yourself and for others to go ahead and take care of any single little thing, like a little line item. This feels like detailed work, very much so, paying attention to the specifics, the logistics, every single part of your entire operating procedure of what you've got going on right now, your business, your work life, the line items on a spreadsheet kind of a thing. Pay attention. AI is so good for that. Pay attention, do your taxes, pay attention to those kinds of things. I think that will be of great benefit for you. Again, there's this energy of be prepared for this conflict or this challenge that you have ahead of you that I feel like you're already being confronted with. Maybe you probably know about this. Okay, your next card, we have the 7 of Cups. That feels really nice. It feels like, be ready, but before making any of your own personal decisions, give yourself a day or two, or give yourself the night to think it over, to rest well before making a decision. Okay, at this point, I feel like we're talking about something that is... With the Hierophant and the 5 of Wands, I think that we're talking about something that is outside of you, that's like a pressure of oppression kind of, or control, or like, you know, it is something that is more dominant. It has more power behind it, like the power of governance, you know, in any kinds of ways, like the way your family has always been for generations, like the culture of your parents or something like that. It's like larger than you. So there's something about how like the decision in some kinds of ways is a bit out of your hands. It feels like there's a pressure and you're gonna have to kind of force the pressure to move. And first and foremost, be totally, you know, ready for that. It just really feels like being prepared for court, or being prepared for, you know, a mutually beneficial conversation between interested parties or something. But the 7 of Cups is before you actually need to make any kinds of decisions. I don't know, there's something about making sure that you can rest and have some ease about that. Don't feel pressured. I feel like whatever this Hierophant energy is representing in your lives, it's pressure. There's something about like pushing back against pressure is an anomaly in and of itself. It's bucking the norm. You're challenging the norm just by not freaking out and not subjugating yourself and not succumbing to the freak out of the pressure. Be prepared. Take a generous pause of reflection. This moon right here with the 7 of Cups and all these little hearts on the mugs. It's like, give yourself the tea time. Give yourself the good night's sleep. Literally say to whoever's like, you got to make the choice. You got to make a decision. Be like, I'm going to sleep on it. I only got 6 hours of sleep last night. I need to sleep and then I'll get back to you tomorrow. Something like that. Okay. And your third card is the Tower. And I feel like be prepared. This is interesting. I am moving right into getting the next 5 cards for you. because I want to see what the cycle that you're going to be moving into is going to look like. I literally, with the Tower card, this feels a little bit like what they say when it comes to manifesting something that you want, or just like creating a business as an entrepreneur. It's like, be delusional. Be a little delulu. I don't think I've ever said that. Delulu. I've said it out loud, not just in my head. The Tower card is like, be prepared for the fall of the norm, because the norm, it cannot stand. The norm is something that's kind of in your way. Whoa. I just have to show you right before I get your next 5 cards, the Emperor is on the bottom of the deck. It's sort of like you're facing off with your father. It's like Darth Vader and Luke. Like, no, you're not my father. It's like literally those kinds of vibes. Okay. It's just what's generating your current cycle is you have to level up in this kind of a way. That's why you're behaving like this. That's why your behavior is of this kind of super masculine mode, as you're like, I will become my own style of king. Damn. Ooh, okay. We have Temperance coming out. And then we have the 10 of Pentacles and the Death card. That's actually a very welcome sight. Hold on. What? Okay. And then the Wheel of Fortune, and then the 3 of Swords. And when it comes to the 3 of Swords, I heard the words licking our paws after the war is done. The war is over. Wow. Okay, what's on the bottom? Oh, fucking hell. You guys are blowing my mind. Tarot always does, but I'm reading your energy, and where you guys are at is like just really blowing my mind. Look what's on the bottom of the deck now. After all your tarot cards are out, it's the Empress. Dude, it's like now she gets to, like, this kind of other energy inside of you. You had to like go full on, like, you know, prepared and get ready and do the thing. And then now it's like the breath out, the recovery, the healing. So basically the Temperance with the Scales of Justice, intriguingly enough, in this deck being there, it's about balance. Temperance energy is about balance. It's also about expanding into new territory that we're going to have to trust ourselves, our skill set to go into. And then the 10 of Pentacles is like a better place, a better space, a more longer lasting one that is prominently abundant, wealthy, healthy, whole. 10 of Pentacles speaks of community. 10 of Pentacles speaks of everybody doing well kind of vibe. And then the Death card are all those transitions and transformations to make way for the Wheel of Fortune, what is to come. What I feel like in this next cycle is you all are entering into the territory where something different has been set up as a result of your actions. Again, we have the Tower card. There's the energy in your reading right now of like, what is unjust cannot stand. Like the truth will always reveal itself and come through, like kind of a thing. And then the 3 of Swords was what had me channel those words about licking our paws after the battle. I'm just like picturing all of the different animals, like all of them that like battle for various reasons, for all of them, so many. And then, you know, they can be quite bloody battles depending on the animal. I don't know. There's so many. I'm trying to think of examples, but I'm like all of them. And then it's just like, you know, after everything has been decided, after there's some kind of a clear victory here that we got going on, then we soothe ourselves, then we heal the wounds. In a lot of ways, if we're talking about family dynamics, the next cycle that you're entering into is allowing a new rigid order to be evaluated, expressed, realized, and implemented. And then we have wounds to heal from. That's why there are always like the peace treaties after wars. That's why there's always like, how do we build up after the tragedy kind of energy. And again, we've got Empress energy on the bottom of the deck. You're just entering into the, now we get to soothe, now we get to nurture, now we get to care. Something about the 10 of Pentacles showing up here. Whatever the Hierophant is expressing about your current situation, that law, I'm just going to call it that rule, that standard, that code of conduct, it prevented everybody from thriving and prospering and feeling healthy and having access to their needs being met, and like everybody from being included. Yeah, so then the death card are all those things that will have to end and shift and transition and transform because the Wheel of Fortune, something better is coming through. But the Three of Swords is like, let's also accommodate for where everybody's at emotionally as a result of this kind of stuff. I don't know, it's a lot of recovery. Even of those who like it just really feels like a little bit of a lot of bit of some kind of a win-lose dynamic of like a challenge that's gonna shift you into this other cycle. Dude, my energy that just feels so negative. Like right now, the way that I'm sensing and feeling, that just doesn't even feel like, especially with this, like who you are, where you're at, or what you even want to deal with or do. It really feels as if, like, according to the technicalities of those kinds of games, you guys are going to be winning. And so then the Three of Swords is like, how do you accommodate for being inclusive of whomever or whatever is the loser? Or like, how do you take care of what this battle will have taken out of you and will have wrung from you? Like similar to like, you know, really draining water from a cloth. It's a replenishment of all that kind of stuff. Temperance. Temperance energy is the combination of the elements of fire and water. And the cycle that you're in right now is a lot of fucking fire. And there is no water. This is like, please, let's have some water, please. It's just that territory of now we need to heal, now we need to rebuild. Your final card, I feel like I don't want to fully leave this next cycle. One of the things that I mentioned in the other two groups was whether or not I could tell if from the circle you're turning it into a spiral. Is this an outward spiral? Action, or an inward one for you guys? In a weird kind of a way, I feel like it's a little bit of both. I feel like you guys are spiraling outward because of this contradiction kind of a thing. It's going to stimulate it. But then the cycle that you're heading into just really feels like an inward one of healing, of knowing, of, tribe and balance and reciprocity and love. And the death is very kind of feminine. It's Scorpio. It's water. Watery energy. But okay, your last card. How can I free up time to do more of the things I truly enjoy? Well, I think as the last card, as a bit of confirmation, when I did pause to try to discern whether or not this was like, an inward or an outward, I feel like you're headed into a cycle that will encourage this kind of inward habitat and inward behavior, to where all of your time spent on this vigilant, resourced battle kind of thing that you got going on, it will be solved. And then from there, in this new cycle, this question is a little bit perfect for you to kind of keep on a sticky note on your bathroom mirror. Okay, I can transition. I can transform my behavior into something that is more coded and in alignment with caring for myself, caring for others. I do have more time. I don't have to be a warrior anymore. It's peacetime. What do I do in peacetime? Is that kind of vibe. Dude, you guys are interesting and absolutely amazing. That's what I have for you. I'm finished. These are the messages for you guys for this cycle. I feel like I don't want to leave you. I feel like I want to keep talking about how important this is for you guys. But okay, I'm done. We're done. This is your YouTube video, okay? So like now, just feels so weird to be like the video, subscribe, comment. I don't know. You guys are like doing something that's like huge, and I'm like, YouTube. But regardless, we're done. If you want the book, this spread is from, there's the link in the description. It's the ebook right now. I'm working on the print version. Also, if you want to join with other readers, if you're a tarot reader or a reader of any kind of intuitive tool or gift, head to the link. I host a group that we gather together over Zoom once a month, the last Saturday on any given month, and we read with each other. It is an incredibly safe space, very vibrant and cool and amazing people. I absolutely love this community. I absolutely love this group. If you guys want to join up, head to that link and sign up. Otherwise, I'm sending you on your way. Please remember, we are all free and we are also all connected, always, at the exact same time. I love you. Hey pretty ones, I am just showing you, hold on, wait. I'm showing you the decks that I used in this reading in case you guys are interested, and I'm showing them to you in the order that I used them in, you know, group 1, group 2, group 3. And I ended every reading off with one of these cards from this set by these people. Okay, love you guys tremendously.